Perfect. I think we'll get going. And anyone else who joins us late will can join us then. So hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us for this Head Start session on getting Kingston ready. My name's Christina. You might have seen me at some other sessions, and I work alongside Hannah delivering Head Start and lots of other activities to help you get settled into life at Kingston University. I've got a couple of colleagues here. I'm going to invite them to introduce themselves. Some of them will be in the behind the scenes answering questions for you, and some of them will come on camera and speak. So first of all, can I introduce Phil?
Hi everyone, I'm Phil. I'm the Transitional Programs Advisor. That means absolutely nothing to you right now, but I work alongside Christina, putting together lots of activity to help you settle in at uni.
Thanks, Phil. Jane?
Hi guys, I'm Jane. I am the Student Systems and Engagement Manager. I look after some techie bits, so you'll get to see some of them shortly. And I generally just look after sort of lots of different bits of university life and can answer a lot of questions. So I'll be here to help.
Thanks, Jane. And Yasmin?
Hey everyone, I'm Yasmin and I'm one of the student officers for the union, so I'll tell you a bit more about that later on.
Perfect. And I guess just to give some context, all of us have been or are currently Kingston students, so we all have a bit of experience in what you're about to go through. So we'll get going if that's okay. Just a bit of housekeeping. If you've been to sessions before, you will be aware of this. Please mind your microphone. That's not because we don't want to hear from you, just because we want to avoid any background noise. If you want to ask a question, please use the raise hand function or use the chat box. We'll also be using Slido, which if you haven't used it before, is just an online system that allows us to capture your questions. If your connection drops out, please rejoin us when you're able to. Somebody's monitoring the waiting room, so you'll be let straight in. We are recording this session, but please make notes if you need to. And please ask any questions. There is no question too silly. So please ask away. But we'll just get going on this. So we're going to do before you start. So what you need to do before you start with us, we're going to cover a little bit on welcome and induction. We're going to cover a little bit about your first few weeks and some of the things you might want to think about. And then we're going to introduce you to your unions, the Union of Kingston Students. And Yasmin will take us through what they get up to and how they support you a little bit later. So first of all, I just cannot explain as a member of staff how excited we are to welcome you to Kingston. In a normal year, we'd have a quiet summer. The campus is usually pretty quiet, but let's be honest, it's been really quiet for the last 18 months, and we cannot wait to have students back on campus, to support you, to see you meet each other. It's so nice. I can't explain how lovely it is seeing people make connections. So I just want to say, I can guarantee every staff member is excited, and hopefully will be super helpful and willing to answer your questions if you have any. So before I start, I'm going to introduce Slido in case you've got questions as we go, getting carried away. If you'd like to join Slido using slido.com and the code 3478. If you have questions as we go, I'll bring this back at the end, so if you don't catch it. Jane or Phil, would you mind just sharing the link and the number in the chat? Thank you. Perfect. Sorry. So before we start, so we're going to cover a little bit on student finance, a little bit on enrolment. We're going to cover a little bit on what sort of support there might be that you might want to apply for before you arrive, and a little bit on how you might stay in touch with us. I'm going to invite Jane at this point to talk us through some student finance stuff, because she's very well versed.
I am indeed. Okay, so making sure you've applied for student finance is really, really important. If you have applied, then that's fantastic. If you haven't, then start your application as soon as possible. Obviously, at this point, there are a lot of applications still in progress, people submitting evidence towards independent applications and things like that. So if it hasn't been fully approved yet, that's fine, but you really, really need to make sure that you've submitted an application. Your student finance will come into your bank account 3 to 5 working days after the 15th of September. It will only come in if everything is complete and it's showing in your student finance account as scheduled. That will then flip over to payment in progress when money is on its way to you. If it says anything else, you might need to get in touch with student finance just to figure out what is going on in the background. We also have a team of money advisors at the university, so it might be worth getting in contact with them. If you haven't applied, there are some elements of student finance that are taking 30 working days to approve. That's a long time. So if you haven't applied for what you need, make sure you get it in ASAP, because 30 working days from now brings us into October, which means you wouldn't get any money until October. If you applied through clearing and applied for another university and you've ended up coming to Kingston, well, welcome, first of all, but get that application flipped over to Kingston as soon as possible, because again, that could give some delays to you getting paid. So everyone is entitled to the minimum finance. If you complete an income assessment, this will make sure that you are receiving the maximum amount that you're entitled to. So all this is that your parents, partner, whoever you live with, will just have to submit evidence of their income. And if it's below £25,000, you can get quite a lot of money, and then it works on a sliding scale to £42,000, I believe. Anything more than that, and you will get what is called the minimum student finance allowance. But if you think that your payment is quite small, then go ahead and get that income assessment complete. Next slide, please. Okay, fee assessments. So you might have gotten an email from the university saying complete your fee assessment. What this does is this tells the university whether you are a UK or international student and what level of fees you are paying. So this is really important because if you're a UK student, you don't want to be charged international fees. They are a lot more. You have to pay them yourself. Student finance won't pay them for you. So if you've done it, then fantastic. If you haven't, do it as soon as possible. All it is you need to submit passport, proof of identity, just something to prove that you are a home fee or international fee paying student. You can complete that by logging into OSIS, and if you need help with that, the email address there is on the screen.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jane. We're on to enrolment next. So you will receive an email reminding you to log into OSIS. You may well have already had it if you start on a course early. If not, you will be invited to enroll from Tuesday. We would really recommend you do it as soon as you can. As soon as you get that email, do that as soon. Do your online enrollment as soon as you can. It quickens everything up. So we will then verify your identity. Once you've completed your enrolment, we'll check who you are. For international students, there may be a requirement for you to check in on campus. You will be told that via email if that applies to you. You will get an email to confirm that your enrolment is complete and you are a current student, and they will invite you to book an appointment to collect your ID card on campus. Some courses might, as I say, might be enrolling a little earlier. And if you're one of those courses, you probably have already had an invite to enroll. Students who are studying at any partner colleges, you'll also need to apply, you'll need to enroll through your partner college as well, and they should be in touch with you directly about that process. A little bit on applying for support. So we have a couple of things. So if you need a laptop, we have a long-term laptop loan scheme that gives you a device for the duration of your course. This is there is a certain criteria for this, and that you can find that information on this website here. I'll share that in the chat shortly. Also, if you need any disability support, you can apply for the disabled students allowance, and the university will arrange a summary of support needs to help your learning, and you can find more information on kingston.ac.uk/disability. Last but not least, in the before you arrive bit, if you, I imagine most of you are already there, but if you're not, Join the Freshers Facebook group. You'll get lots of updates from the university. Also, the union are posting about Freshers activity in there. Lots of information, great opportunity to connect with other students. Give the university Instagram a follow. That will just give you a flavour of what you can expect. But we also have an online chat where you can talk. Hopefully, you've already spoken to some of our lovely ambassadors, where if you want to ask questions, you can do that there. Welcome week. I'm rushing because I'm conscious of the time. So welcome week for most students is Monday, the 20th to the 24th of September. And there are 4 elements of Freshers Week that I'm going to talk about here. So first of all, we have course induction. So course induction is exactly what it sounds like. It's an introduction to your course, and it should cover these 3 topics. So you should get an understanding of what you'll learn on the course. You should get an understanding of how you'll be assessed throughout your course. And you should get an opportunity to find out reading lists. You might need to collect equipment if you're doing particular courses. You'll meet support staff and teaching staff. And as this says, this is depending on your course, it will be a mix of online and on-campus sessions. And you can see your course induction schedule either on the KU app. We have a welcome section on the KU app, or there is a browser version of that app. Again, I will share that in the chat shortly. Everything you need is in the app. So room number, if it's an on-campus session, there should be room numbers included. Some are TBC at the moment, but they will be there by the 20th. And the same with links. Some of the links, if you've got an online session, they will be available and viewable by the 20th. So don't panic if it says your link's not there yet. The second one is we have a welcome to Kingston module. So this will give you all of the information you'll need for your first few weeks at Kingston. It's accessible from the 1st of September, as long as you have completed your enrolment. And normally enrolment, it may take up to 24 hours for you to then gain access to some systems. And Canvas, which is our virtual learning environment, is one of those systems that you might have to wait 24 hours to get access to once you've completed your enrolment. It's got lots of information in there. There's discussion boards, we'll be doing announcements, and it will be available all throughout your first year. So you can always go back to it, refer to things if you're not sure. Next up is the welcome programme. So yes, we have Freshers, and Yasmin will be telling you all about Freshers in a minute. But we also, alongside Freshers, we also have a welcome programme, which really introduces you to lots of different services at the university. We also are doing a couple of academic success sessions, to introduce you to some life skills. We've also got some kind of more social events. So we're running a couple of on-campus events. Speed friending, we're doing a live Taskmaster. So if you've been involved in the online Taskmasters through Head Start, we'll be putting your skills to the test face-to-face during Welcome Week. And just here's a flavour of some of the things. I know some people have got very excited about a Harry Potter walking tour, which we're organising. So we'll do a company tour. We'll meet you at Surbiton Station, and we'll take you into London and then get you on a tour and see all the places, lots of places that were filmed for Harry Potter in London. I won't dwell too much on the sessions, but you can view all of those things either on the welcome section of the KU app or directly on KU Extra. Last but not least, on campus, we will be offering, we have welcome help points, which will be staffed by student ambassadors. If you have questions, if you get lost, if you need someone to show you where something is, they will be available on campus throughout the welcome week and the first teaching week to help you. We will also be running campus tours during welcome week, and they will leave the welcome help points at 11 and at 3. We also have a whole load of freebies to give you, and you can collect those from the welcome help points. So we've got a lovely design like student bag. We've got a notebook that we normally run a competition for student design this year. We've got pens, water bottles, a lanyard for your ID card, lots of things. Freshers Week, I'm going to leave Yasmin to cover that shortly. And I just wanted to put, once you've arrived, it will feel, you might feel very overwhelmed. There's lots of information to take in. And I would just say, don't worry. There's lots of time to get adjusted. But what I would say, there are some things that you probably want to check that you've got access to, or you know that they exist in your first couple of weeks. So I just wanted to give you an overview of some of these things. So your teaching timetable. So this is your teaching timetable for the first semester. So the first semester or teaching block, which is September to December, will be viewable 48 hours after you complete your online enrollment. Now, there's a caveat there that as you are added to different modules, your timetable will emerge. So when you log in 48 hours after enrollment, you may not see your full timetable. It may take a couple of weeks for it to properly be viewable and have arrived, if that makes sense. The other thing is we have a check-in process for classes with an application called Seats, which is what Jane looks after. And we would really encourage you to download that app to make it easier to check into classes. Jane, do you want to cover anything else on that quickly?
No, it's just the app is called Seat Software. You can get to it through the KU app, or it's in the Play Store or App Store.
Perfect, thank you. And then just to know that there's lots of academic support at Kingston. I'm sure many of you will have already heard through Head Start some of those support services, but just a reminder that the academic success centres, and there are other programmes that support you, and your personal tutor. Tech checklist, or a tech list, as Phil wanted me to call it. So Canvas, this is the virtual learning environment, VLE, where most of your teaching information will be shared. Your lecturers will upload slides and documents that, for each module. So really important that you know you can get access to it, and you should be able to access that once you have completed your online enrollment. The KU app, find rooms, there's live bus arrivals, your timetable's viewable for there. You can get quick access to your email. Really important, really useful for the whole time you're at Kingston. Your email address will be used for all university communications, and your email address will be your K number at kingston.ac.uk, and you will be able to access that once you have completed online enrollment. KU Extra, which is the events platform, which has lots of opportunities. There's a load of other things, but My Desktop Anywhere, it gives you lots of access to different software, and you can also get free Microsoft package for up to 5 devices. So all of these things you'll have access to once you complete your enrollment. One more slide, I promise, and then it's over to the union. Just things on wellbeing. So just to let you know, we have an information centre on every campus. They are based in the library. It's a great place to go to if you don't know where to go for something. They will be the first point of contact for everything. If you're moving to Kingston, we'd recommend that you register with the GP. We have a GP on site. They're called Fairhill Medical, and there'll be an opportunity to register during Welcome Week. Sports and societies, I would recommend that you explore some of the societies that we have before Welcome Week, and I'm sure Yasmin will cover a little bit on sports and societies in a minute. And just to let you know, there is a campus bus that runs from all of our hall sites to every campus. It stops in town, and you can use the app to track where the bus is. And there is free Wi-Fi and USB charging too. So if your phone's low on battery, it's a good place to top up as you travel between. And as promised, over to Yasmin. And Sarim, I can see Sarim is now here as well. So Sarim is our president of the Students' Union. So Sarim, I don't know if you want to just quickly introduce yourself. Hi.
Hi, how's everyone?
I'm well, thanks. I'll move on to your slides. You just let me know when you want me to go next.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Firstly, hi everyone. Thank you. Firstly, thank you for joining today's session. We really hope you're keeping, in the best of health, and staying positive and testing negative, and I'm sure a lot of you have been double jabbed, hopefully. And I'm really, really, looking forward to meeting as many of you at Kingston University. So so two of us here, the other two will introduce soon, but we are your student union, student officers, and we're here to give you a quick presentation on who the Union of Kingston student is and what we provide the students with and how can, yourself get involved, all about Freshers Week, which I'm really sure you guys are all excited for. I know I am, although I'll be, running around like a headless chicken, me and Yasmin sorting these things out with the other team members. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. So your student union, what is the student union? The good news is, first and foremost, the moment you join Kingston University, you're automatically a member of the student union, which means that we're here, we got your back. And our job is to basically make sure that your experience at Kingston University is the best that it can be. So we offer so many services that you can take part in, which we'll come to in a bit. Next slide, please. So the union is led by 4 student elected officers who are voted in literally by the students, by yourself every single year. And this year is the 4 of us. It's starting with myself, Sarim. I will be your president for this coming year. A bit about myself. I studied pharmacy. I'm currently 3rd year pharmacy student. What else you want to know about me? There's plenty, whenever we can have a chat, we can go into more details. But for now, I will just say I absolutely love all kind of sports, all kind of, activities. I like to get my, head around and my, my legs around in every space that I can, and clog my head and, clog myself everywhere. So I really like to be out, to be out there, and I can, I play all kind of different sports: cricket, football, badminton, table tennis, you just name it, and I'm there. But yeah, that was a little bit about myself, and I'll let Yasmin tell you about herself.
Hey everyone, so my name is Yasmin and I'm your Vice President Student Opportunities Officer this year. So a bit about me is that I just finished my chemistry degree and I'll be starting a master's in environmental management. And I've also been part of the netball sports club here at Kingston for my past 3 years. So a bit about my role. So I'm your go-to person to anything to do with events, society, sports, sustainability, skills development. So if you want to join a sports or society or anything on that line, I'm your person.
Then we have our, two other members who are not here today, unfortunately, but they're lovely people and you need to get to know them, as well as us, obviously. Don't just leave us after today's meeting, come to us. But these officers, the other officers, so we have Sammy, who will be your education officer, to deal with anything with coursework, any educational, academic issues that you're having. He's your man to go to, and he'll just sort you out. And we also have Mohammed, who is a very, very lovely person with a big afro, as you can see in the picture. He is your welfare officer. So anything to do with your accommodation, your welfare, well-being, along those lines, he's the guy you need to go to, and he'll literally sort you out in a minute. But moving on to the next slide. So how you can get involved, there's many things that you can get involved with in a lot of different things, and we'll talk about each one of them separately. So we have a sports and societies, sustainability, skills. You can get involved in student council election, be elected one of the student councils, coursework, and not to forget the Not Beautiful House that you will come to in a bit by Yasmin. It's amazing. The campaign Freshers Week All, we'll talk about in a bit. Next slide, please.
So I'm going to go over societies. So within societies, you'll find Friends for Life. We've got societies for smashing Mario Kart tournaments, acing your degree, a cappella singing, your faith and culture, and so much more. If you can't find a society you like, you can actually set your own one up, or you can adopt an old inactive one too. So you've got loads of options. And you can meet our societies at Freshers Fair this year, or read up about them on our website. And we also have an Instagram account where we post regularly about what other societies are doing and what will be taking place. So follow those to find out more. Next slide, please. On the other side, we have sports. So whatever sport you love, we'll help you do it at Kingston. There are over 35 competitive clubs to choose from. And if we don't do the sport you want, we'll even help you set up your own one up. If competing isn't your thing, we do also have a free recreational sports program, which takes place all year round. Each year, our sports teams compete in national competitions and against City University in our annual varsity competition that takes place in March usually. You can meet our sports teams and sign up at the Freshers Fair or on the website. And once again, follow us on Instagram to find out the latest information and see what all our sports clubs are getting up to. Next slide, please. We also have campaigns. So if you've got any issues that you care about, we're here to listen and help make them happen. We've successfully campaigned for gender-neutral toilets, free menstrual products across the university, changes to access to learning spaces during COVID-19, and more over the past years. Every year, we run insightful and engaging awareness months around Black History Month, Women's History Month, and LGBT+ History Month. So if there's anything you guys want to get involved in, let us know and we'll help you do it. Next slide, please.
So now coming on to the student council that I was talking about. So it's a bit like mini government. You know, you can take part in the election, you can get elected, and you can come up with ideas, motions, and, you know, really put them into action. They get the union, aka us, to work on different issues and generally make sure that we are doing our job well. And if we're not, then they're there to, you know, hit us with a stick ready. But there's a lot of students on student council, and you can be elected onto student council in September and October. We'll come to the details in the next coming weeks. Next slide, please. So now coming on to course reps. If our education officer was here, he would have explained a lot much better, but I'll try to explain as much as I can. But as soon as you get hold of that person, Sammy, make sure you ask more about it. So basically, course reps are students on your courses and, you know, in your schools, your faculty who you can talk to about your academic issues. And we've got hundreds and hundreds across Kingston University, so you'll be able to find them easily. And what they do is they take your issues to different meetings across KU and get it fixed. For example, if there's, let's say, if there's no PowerPoint for lectures, or, you know, a rep can get this done, ask the lecturers and get it changed, get it up on Canvas. They also work with your education officer. So the course rep work with your education officer, Sammy, and make the whole university experience a lot better, which means you will be getting the most out of your course, and you can sign up to be one of the course rep in your lecture. Usually in the first couple of lectures, they ask if anyone wants to go for the course rep role. I highly advise that you guys go up for it. It looks really good on your CV, and again, you know, it gets you a huge amount of skills. Next slide, please.
So Freshers Week. We run lots of events at the union, but Freshers Week is our biggest one and is always at the start of the year. This year's Freshers Week is running from Monday the 20th of September to Sunday the 26th of September, and you can find out more information on the website. Next slide, please. So one of my favourite parts about Freshers is the Freshers Week, is the Freshers Fair. It's the ultimate place for freebies, societies, sports, communities, big name brands, information on the union and the university, and a lot of the time there's free pizza involved too. So this year the fair will be taking place on Wednesday the 22nd and Thursday the 21st of September from 12 till 5 p.m. on both Kingston Hill and Penryn Road campuses on both days. So if you miss one, you don't worry, you can go to it the next day. There's plenty of time to make them. Entrance is totally free and the fair will be held outside. So if you want to find out more information, just please go to the website. Next slide, please. So far we have Laser Quest Days, Cinema Nights, the fair, a trip to Thorpe Park and a Sunday market in store for you during Freshers Week. But we do actually have some more events coming up, which will be announced next week. So do keep your eyes out. Next slide, please.
Before I do go on to this slide, I want to mention that all of our officers will be there in majority of the events. So if you want to be the first people to come and get in contact with us, make sure you're not missing out those events, because that's where you will find us initially in our first kind of meeting that we can have face to face. But now moving on to official Kingston University merchandise. You know, on top of everything, we also sell those merchandise, something like this I'm wearing right now, you can see, but they're available in many other colors as well, although gray is my favorite. But they're available in, I think, navy blue, maroon, black, different colors, white, whatever you like. There's a wide range to choose from hoodies to keyring to teddy bears, and you can get it all online or at Freshers Fair or in Kingston Town Centre at Not My Beautiful House, which Yasmin's just gonna tell you all guys about. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so speaking of Not My Beautiful House, back in May 2020, we crowdfunded and opened a brand new space in Kingston Town Centre. It's a new multi-purpose venue showcasing creativity from Kingston students, alumni and small businesses. And on top of that, 80% of every sale goes straight back to the creative. Currently open as a shop and gallery, we will also be hosting some exciting events over the next academic year, and we also have a Freshers event taking place as well. Not My Beautiful House is yours. You can apply to sell your work, host exhibitions, or test your business ideas. Whether you're a food vendor, a student, or looking for something to do, we've got you covered. So visit the website to find out more. But as you can see in the pictures, there's so much already there. There's such a range, so you will definitely find something. It's also next to, if you've been to the Kingston Town Centre, or if you want to find it, it's near Sports Direct. So if you're around, please do pop in because it's a great place to have a look. Next slide, please. So finally, that was a whistle-stop tour of what the union has to offer. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer them. So just please put them in the chat or send us emails, anything, whatever way you want to get in contact with us. Make sure you keep an eye and keep up to date with us by following us on all our social medias on screen and on our Instagram accounts for sports and societies if you want anything specific on those lines. And we will see you at Kingston University very, very soon. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Yasmin and Sarim. Lots of information I appreciate there to take in over kind of what needs to be done before you arrive, what you do during Welcome and Freshers Week, and maybe some things that you might want to consider in your first couple of weeks. We've had a couple of questions in. I noticed there's quite a lot of questions being answered in the chat by Phil and Jane, which is great. Thank you. But if anybody's got any extra questions that they want to ask, please go on to slido.com and use the code 3478. So I can see, so a question for Yasmin, is the Cinema Appreciation Society currently running? I've seen it on both Join a Society and an Adopt a Society. Can you give any more information on that?
So at the moment, I'm pretty sure it's actually not running. Just with COVID, it's been a bit quiet. So we can find out more information. If you want to email us, we can let you know. But if it's Adopt a Society, if you've got enough people and you want to carry it on, by all means, let us know and you can have it and we can get it back up and running.
Perfect. Thanks so much. What is Studio KT1? Do you want me to take that one, or does Sarim, do you want to take it, or Yasmin?
No, you can take it.
Yeah. So Studio KT1 is it's an organisation run by Kingston, and it's a creative agency. So if you're a creative, lots of people, companies, areas of the university use it as a creative agency to produce video, content, designs. It's a really, really great way, particularly if you're studying a creative course, to get some work experience. It's paid. You work on lots of little briefs, and I will ask Phil if he can post the link to the website in the chat. That would be really helpful. Thank you so much. Perfect. It doesn't look like we've got any more questions. Oh no, hang on, I'd lie.
If either we've covered it quite well, I feel like people are not really excited to come Kingston.
So how many culture societies are there? Can you list some of them if possible? Yasmin?
A lot.
Go on, Sarim, you can take it.
There's many, I think. Like there's so there is something like I believe the all these countries like PACSOC, the others, what do you call it, something called Daisy Society, but there's a lot. There's like I've gone blank right now, but I know there's a lot. I know for sure there's a lot. If you go onto the website and go on to,
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to post the link to the A to Z of societies in the chat. It will list everything,
exactly.
all the societies that are live at the moment. But there are, as Sarim and Yasmin said, there are lots. Cultural societies wise, Sri Lankan society, Somali, Palestinian, Pakistani, North African, Mauritian, Malayali, German appreciation, Filipino, Arab, and Afro-Caribbean at the moment. And if there's not one that you fit into, as Yasmin said, you can set one up yourself. Perfect. Is there an anime society?
I don't think there is actually, but we do have another society called VAST, which has got anime, video gaming. It's all mixed in one.
Video gaming, anime, sci-fi, and tabletop gaming.
Yeah. So if you want to make your own anime one solely for anime, by all means, but there is one that's got it involved.
Okay, if I'm struggling to settle in at Kingston, where should I go? Jane, do you want to take this one? I think you can give a pretty good, well-rounded answer.
Yeah, so it's quite, this depends on a number of different factors. So obviously, if you're living in halls, then maybe Phil can talk a little bit in a minute about the halls program. But, there will be people on your course, people in the union, there will be people, there's a lot of different teams who can help you with settling in. I think your personal tutor is a good place to start. They might be able to help you meet some people in personal tutor sessions, and there's just so much other help as well in terms of meeting new people. Phil, can you talk a little bit about the halls program, please?
Yeah, basically we've got something called the Residence Life Program, and that's a program that we have in the University Halls of Residence. So if you're staying at Seaton Wells or Kingston Hill, so you've got Chancellors and Walkston up there, we've got 75 Penryn Road, and we've also got Clay Hill and Middle Mill. So we've got 5 of them, and basically we have university students, Residence Life ambassadors, and they put on a host of activities and events throughout the entire year to help you settle in, to help you make friends. So they'll put on like pizza nights and movie nights. They'll have events outside of halls as well. We've got inter-site competitions, all kinds for people to be getting involved with.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Phil. Excellent. What do you guys recommend to do on a day out around Kingston? I'm planning on visiting before freshers. Yasmin, Sarim, do you want to talk a little bit about Kingston? I mean, I've lived here a long time, so
Yeah. I've been here for 4 years. If there's something, I would say there's a lot to do in Kingston town centre. But I would recommend you come to Kingston University first, visit it, go around the campus. If you find one of us, we can give you a tour around. But outside of university, there's beautiful Kingston town. There's a beautiful riverside that you can go to. There's an amazing bridge. And there's one space, if you're really kind of, what do you call it? You love taking pictures. There's one spot, one of my favorite spots is the kind of falling telephone booth, and it looks amazing. So there's a lot of stuff, and there's amazing food around it, Korean food. My favorite is Korean food. There's a kind of other different varieties, Turkish. If you want a bit of spiciness, there's curries around. There's bubble tea, bubbleology around, if you love bubble tea.
Perfect, thanks Sarim. I would just say Kingston is a real big, it's a really historical town, so it's really old, but it also feels really modern, and it's small enough to walk around. We've got 2 really beautiful parks, like big parks, so Bushy Park and Richmond Park, which have free roaming deer. So if you love a little trek and a little hike around, it's just lovely, particularly on a very nice day. As Sarim said, like the riverside is beautiful. You can walk either one way towards Hampton Court or one way towards Teddington. It's really nice walks. Obviously there's some great clubbing. I'm maybe a little bit too old for that now, but when I was a student, so there's Prism, which also have lots of, if you like live bands, we have Banquet Records here, who are a massive kind of record shop, but they put on loads of gigs with loads of really great artists, loads of like well-known artists, loads of up-and-coming artists. And we are 25 minutes from London, so if you get bored of Kingston, you've got a direct train into Waterloo. It's pretty speedy, and night buses that run all the way through the night if you need to get back from London after a night out. I hope that covers everything. But yes, you can visit. I did see someone ask a question in the chat that yes, you can visit before term starts, but I would say come on, grab a campus tour during welcome week. We've got student ambassadors who'll be able to show you around, give you little recommendations of the quietest places to study or the quickest routes from one classroom to another. So yeah, please come on campus and get chatting with some of the students. What's the app for the university bus called? It's just on the university app. So I think if you just go to the App Store and search Kingston University, and you can download that. You may not be able to log in quite yet, but you should be able to access the welcome content without logging in. How do I join societies again? Can we do a little recap, Yasmin?
Yes, so you can join online, but also when we have the Freshers Fair on, just any society you want to join, just go up to them and you can sign up there and then, and we'll put you on a mailing list and you'll get emails sent and all the information will be there. But like I said, Freshers Week, Freshers Fair is the time to be, because then you can go around and sign up to all the ones you want. And any ones you sign up to, you don't have to commit to them. You can just try them out, see which ones you like, just turn up, which ones are the best ones for you, and then continue going to those. Or maybe if there's one that might be too much for you, too much commitment, don't worry about it, but just sign up as much as you can to see what you like.
And Yasmin, are societies free to join? Is there a charge?
Yeah, so they're only a small charge, so they range between £3 and £10, and that's for the year. So yeah, £3 for the year is pretty good. Great. And then sports also have charges as well, but they vary. They're a little bit more. But
and I know you sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that'll cover you for the whole year, and that'll give you also sports insurance as well. So it's a little bit pricier, but it is worth it for the long run.
Perfect. And I know you mentioned a little bit about sports earlier. I understand there are tryouts. So if you're interested in playing sport competitively, there are some tryouts that run kind of during September, and I think you can find those on the Freshers website. Maybe Phil, if we can share the Freshers website again, that would be great. Perfect. I don't think we've got any more questions. I'm just going to invite everybody to do a very, very quick, if they could give you one piece of advice for your first week, what would you give? And I'm going to start with Jane.
I need to clarify, welcome week or teaching week?
Welcome week.
It would be, someone's actually just put it in your chat, find your way around. Know where you're going. I mean, if you're studying science, some of those labs are really tricky to find. Just also, there's going to be so many people, just ask questions and grab someone in a yellow t-shirt. You see someone with a staff lanyard on, grab one of us, ask a question. We will quite happily answer you, and no question is stupid, like Christina said.
And I will also say, if you want to know, walk around Kingston, we've got like a self-led walking tour of Kingston that some of our students have put together with some recommendations of places to visit that you can walk to from the Penryn Road campus. So that will be available for you to look at during Welcome Week. One recommendation or a piece of advice for Welcome Week or Freshers Week, Sarim. You're on mute. There's always one.
I would say to try getting as much involved as possible. In my last 4 years, don't just make university about your degree. University is way more than just a degree. So get involved in as many things as you can, because that's how you're going to build and get out of university with different skills.
Perfect. Thank you. Short and sweet. Phil.
I'd say, yeah, I'd agree with what the two people have just said, but I'd just get involved. If you're hesitant about like going to an event or like nervous about making friends, just dive in. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain, really. That's what I'd say. And don't be afraid to ask questions, especially when you're starting. We're all here to help. Everybody's in the same boat as well. Everyone's going to be a bit nervous, a bit hesitant, especially after the last 18 months. But yeah, just get involved. We're here to help.
Lovely. Thanks, Phil. And Yasmin?
Yeah, Sarim stole my one, but it is getting involved in as much as you can, because like you said, it's not just about academically, it is everything else. And some of my best friends that I made at university have not been through my course. They've been through all the additional things that I've done, such as sports, where I've done netball and other pieces. So just dive straight in, do as much as you can, and it will definitely be worth it.
Perfect. I would say my one would be, don't put yourself in under too much pressure. You've got plenty of time to settle in. You don't have to think that you have to know everything in your first couple of days. Give yourself time and be kind to yourself. It is really scary and could be a really anxious time for some people. So just be kind to yourself, and if you see someone else struggling, maybe have a little chat with them as well. You'd be surprised how much people will appreciate a little kind of nice hand and saying hello, because they might not have spoken to anyone that day. If there's no more questions and no one else wants to ask anything else, I think we can probably wrap it up there. But thank you so much for joining us. There is 1 week left of Head Start, so lots of other sessions. We've got a Ask Us Anything panel next week. So if there's anything you think of that you haven't had answered yet, join us at that. We've got loads of representatives from across the university. And just finally, we cannot wait to see you. We cannot wait for you to join us and be part of the club. So thanks so much for your time today, and we will see you in a couple of weeks on campus. Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.